It's a time for more packages from China. Let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video, we are going to take a close look at the new Gamebox G11 Pro Edition. So let's see how pro this is and what are we actually going to get. But what I'm actually going to get in the inside, we're just going to get the same stuff that we're always getting most of the time, the system itself. Let's see if they send the right version. This is the G11 Pro. Alright, later on we're going to do a quick overview of that. In here we do get a free gift. It's kind of cool they're doing that, but we're going to get fake Apple AirPod things. Yeah, okay. It's kind of weird to have that with a device itself. I rather had like a cool keychain. A very cheap looking power adapter, 12 volt or only 1 amp. So that's not two controllers, the remote that we're not going to use. Then we're having HDMI cable, and that's the only thing. Man, they didn't even give you a good, nice manual that explains what I'm actually going to get. This is a random this is just a random manual. Yeah, the controller are the fake PlayStation ones, or we don't have PlayStation logos, just the ABXY. They feel okay, the joysticks feel okay, and the D-pad does have a very nice travel. The Gamebox at the bottom, there is nothing of an information whatsoever. The form factor looks like your typical Super Console X. We do have an on and off switch, that is a unique situation. We don't have that with every single model. At the back we're going to get the input for the power supply, AV out, HDMI, and of course we're having the RG45. At the side we do have like normal 2.0 ports, nothing fancy. And of course the SD card, and the SD card is a non-branded. So in this part I just wanted to check out the main menu and what are we actually going to get. So all the way to PlayStation 1, these boxes can run it without any problem whatsoever. And with newer version of Emulator, we're even going to get some older systems that have been added to the list. Pretty damn cool, for example with a Virtual Boy in 3DO. If you don't want to tinker, you don't have to do it. Most of the time the settings have been set to the right format or the right thing. But you can always check out if you have any problems with an emulator whatsoever. So game settings, everything has been set to auto, so that automatically will configure. UI has been set to the ES theme Spin Master, that is the UI that's basically running on. There are a couple of different ones, for example having Crystal. Some of them have been seen in the previous videos. But later on, let's take a close look at some other features. But I'm really curious about what is the system settings and what are we going to get with this. So we're having here Emulator. System is Linux 4.9.269. It has an unknown aim logic, so it's a little bit bummer we cannot see what's going on over here. We do have a Mali G31. But let's start with some Sega Saturn. It's a new addition to these boxes, but unfortunate with the power we're having, it's not enough to run every single game without any problems. Two-dimensional stuff runs fine. I didn't have any weird stuff going on over here, but take consideration it's going to be in hit or miss when it comes to Sega Saturn. Or we're going to try some games like Dead Alive 2. We're going to have a lot of struggles that get this thing to run properly. But I know there are a lot of games like Power Stone 2. And like a lot of these devices, let's go into the Sega Naomi and test out the arcade part. With Dead Alive 2, of course. I just wanted to see how it's going to be running. We did have some minor hiccups. There we go. I can hear that's going to be dipping down. So not running on the full 60 FPS. But let's take a close look at some emulation of the PlayStation Portable part. It's going to be some God of War, of course, but already doesn't even matter what God of War you're booting up, it runs absolutely garbage. So let's take a close look if we can get into the emulator part. There we go. Let's go to settings. Frame skipping has been set to off. Let's see if we can mess around with this on. Let's see if we can put some skipping. This needs to be set to 1 at least. And here we go to say FPS. And let's go all the way back up. The filtering can be set to off. Let's see if we can speed up. There we have speed up, speed up. Okay, so already some speed up have been implemented. Okay, great. Let's go back. Let's go to continue the game. And let's see if we can actually play it. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter what I'm doing. It's not going to be any better in my opinion. And there's the thing what you can do, you can mess around with it all, just see if we can get some better performance, but it's not going to be running better. But the emulator running on this is absolutely very old. Yep. We do even have what Tekken 6 some weird stuff going on with the screen itself, and that is only when you're having a very old emulator PP SSPP.
Round one.
With Tekken we're going to get a slightly better performance, but that's what it's going to be with these cheaper boxes. And if you're going to look into the mini file or the mini games, there we're going to get great performance of course, because 2-dimensional is not demanding. But Tekken runs pretty damn good if you ask me. But it is not all bad news, simply because when you're looking all the way up to PlayStation, we have like an amazing performance now. Especially with PlayStation 1, it is native resolution, but with some 4:3 aspect ratio and some cool bezels, I can really enjoy these old school games. Jumping Flash is, by the way, one of those games I played so much as a child, and this is absolutely completely going memory lane for me. But let's take a close look in the inside. So it does have a very nice weight to it, and that's simply because there is a big metal plate in here. The construction, it always like flabbergasts me how creative they are. Look how thick this thermal pad is in the inside. It seems to be working and transferring the heat without any problem. The mainboard looks very fresh and very new, and that is almost the case over here. Let's see if we can get rid of this. Yeah, let's get rid of this cable. This is for the Wi-Fi connectivity. The only thing that we're going to get in the inside is just a very tiny PCB, like all the other Super Console X's, and nothing very special. Let's get rid of this freaking cooling element. Where some of them are glued, this one seems to be having some wiggle room. So we can just remove it and put it back without any hassle. And like suspected, I was thinking, what are we going to get with this? And it is going to be yourself, the old famous S905 X3. But what is kind of interesting, that it is almost unreadable. I can clean it up a little bit more, but you can see everything is wiped out. That's interesting. Don't know what happened there. But it's the AM Logic S905 III. It's a box that we have seen many times before. Most of them come with 2 GB or 4 GB RAM. Nothing very fancy in my opinion. But when it comes to some old school gaming, we do get some good emulation performance to a certain point. The G11 Pro, in my opinion, there is nothing pro about it. They love to put stuff like that on the box. You was expecting to get better performance, but it's just the same stuff that we've seen before. The S905 X3 is a chipset that has like a lot of possibilities, but also its limitations. Thank you all for watching, consider subscribing, hit that little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.